once again, everyone. Original Blood Ace here with another video. Today we are talking Microsoft, Xbox slash PC. So, as some of you may be aware, maybe some of you aren't, the Xbox One, when you think about it, and if you're thinking to yourself about exclusives, really doesn't have much. People like to bring up Quantum Break, Scalebound, Halo, Gears of War, Forza, these type of things. But I want to talk about the fact that Microsoft seems to be shying away from their Xbox brand, at least, being like that's their sole focus. They still have the Xbox One, they're still releasing stuff on it. I'm not saying they're ditching it completely, but they are certainly making it much more irrelevant. And there's really no reason. I mean, there wasn't a reason to get an Xbox One to begin with, but they're making there even less of a reason to even remotely consider the possibility of owning one. So, if you look at exclusives, first of all, a lot of people have different opinions on the point of exclusives. Some people are like, no, they're horrible, every game should be on every platform. But the whole point of exclusives is to drive that console, is to build competition. If there was three systems, all with the exact same library of games, all with the exact same, system, then one of them would probably be bought and the other two would not. And then the other two companies would not exist. So, Xbox division is what we're talking here. The Xbox One literally seems to be only having one exclusive IP left. Oh, Recore is another one that I was going to mention before. But according to Phil Spencer, I think it was, Recore, Quantum Break, Scalebound, actually it might have been Platinum Games with Scalebound, those are all coming to PC. Of course, there was the Tomb Raider, the Rise of the Tomb Raider. We already knew that was a timed exclusive, but they like to promote it as an Xbox One exclusive at the time anyway, which it wasn't. So, then Forza was another one. Forza 6, I can't remember. Forza is coming to PC from now on. It will still probably be on Xbox, but it will also be on PC at launch. Fable was another one, and in fact, the studio, is it Lionhead or something like that, was shut down by Microsoft. And their newest Fable game, poof, gone in a puff of smoke. Now, games like Quantum Break, Scalebound, not Dead or Alive, what's that game called? Dead Rising, so forth, so on, are on PC. Now, granted, Microsoft owns PC, so it's not like they're taking a major loss here. In fact, I'll get into this later, but I feel, a lot of people are complaining about this, I feel this is a smart decision from Xbox, or from Microsoft. But either way, the two IPs that were still remaining loyal to the Xbox console, the Xbox platform, Halo and Gears of War, except for the Gears of War Ultimate Edition or something like that, which was put to PC, Gears of War 4 and then, Halo is really all Xbox has. Now, here is our story. Gears of War 4 will probably come to PC. Currently an Xbox One exclusive, but it sounds like that will change. In an interview with Game Informer, Gears development chief Rod Ferguson was asked whether Gears of War 4 would come to the PC. His answer came with a smirk, possibly. Now you could say, oh, he's just joking, he's joshing you. But if you look at the history, there's already a Gears of War, was it 1 and Ultimate Edition that were on PC? I can't remember. But at this rate, you can easily tell how Microsoft or Phil Spencer has been more supportive of PC gaming. Now, even though I'm not, a PC elitist, I'm not a PC gamer that's hardcore, I don't mind it, I'll dabble in it from time to time, and I've never even given a shit about Gears of War. If you like it, that's fantastic. I don't. So this doesn't really do anything for me. But again, if Gears of War 4 comes to PC, that leaves one game as the last man standing. One franchise, Halo, is all there is on Xbox One. Literally. Now, the question would become, would Halo go to PC? Because originally, way back, if you rewind the clock, Halo Combat Evolved, or was it Halo 2? Maybe it was both? I can't even remember anymore. Was on PC. Now, the servers were shut down on Halo whichever one it was. Maybe it was both. I feel like it was two, but either way. So there is history there. So ultimately, it begs the question, what is Microsoft planning? Now, again, I'm not going to be able to predict 100%, but in my opinion, I think this is a smart decision that Microsoft is going to eventually phase out their Xbox division. They've said before, they don't even give a shit about it. They would sell it off if they were offered enough money for it. They don't care. So, frankly, the only reason they made the Xbox division was because they weren't in the PC gaming market yet, and they were just like, well, let's scoop up some gamers, so we'll give them a thing that these people called gamers like to buy. That's literally it. So maybe this was their short-term plan the whole time, the Xbox console. Who knows? But either way, the Xbox division itself, whether it was the original Xbox, the 360, or the One, even though this generation hasn't ended yet, they always will end the same with Xbox. It will always end in the red, no profit. It's just the way it is, because Microsoft, even though they have infinite money, near infinite money, they always pour way more money into the Xbox division, trying to get like day one content and exclusive timed exclusives and stuff like that they ever end up making back. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people who are like, the Xbox loyalists, the Xbox gamers, the fanboys, whatever you want to call them, they're the ones who are affected by this and cranky about it. I ditched Xbox after the 360. I liked the 360, but Xbox One was a bad, bad, bad thing. So, I say this is a good thing, business-wise, because with Xbox or Microsoft focusing more towards Xbox, that could mean they just simply want to get rid of the not having a profit from the Xbox console division. Simple as that. If they just put everything on PC, they're already basically the PC gaming market, unless you're like, a Mac or Linux or whatever. But if you're not, if you're Windows, you're already set. You don't need to buy a new console every few years. You can just stick with PC. And yes, PC is the best for graphics and resolution and frame rate and lighting textures and all these draw distance and all that shit. There's no argument from that. So, really, what Microsoft should realistically be doing, put their stuff on PC, but still make, the Xbox controller, or just call it a Microsoft controller, or just a Windows controller even, and it could be like the Elite controller, which is expensive as shit. What is it, like $150 for one of those? And people complain about the gamepad being expensive. But either way, they could just do that to go with PC gaming, and then they wouldn't have any red, they'd all be in the black, all in the profits. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe Microsoft thinks that, consoles are dying out to maybe smartphones or whatever, which I don't know. I don't think that's what they're seeing, because Microsoft may be idiots, but they're not stupid. And I know that sounds weird to say, but there's a reason Microsoft has so much money. They are smart when it comes to the money. So I don't think they would think, oh, consoles are being phased out, because Nintendo will not be phased out. They will continue to make consoles for as long as they fucking want. Sony, they got the PS4. They aren't going to make another handheld. I can pretty much guarantee that. I'm pretty sure the Sony CEO stated that they weren't even thinking of making another handheld. So, although that would be quite the shock if Sony sprung that on people at E3. Nintendo revealing NX, Sony revealing a new handheld, which would probably end up dying again, but poor Microsoft would be stuck in the mud with nothing. But either way, the whole point of this video was talking about Microsoft and their plans for the future, and Xbox, and exclusives, and so forth and so on. So again, there possibly could be thinking consoles are going to go on the way out, but people have been thinking that since the NES days, and I just don't see that happening. If anything, like I've said before, the mobile market will fade away, and phones will go back to being phones or whatever they're going to be. But who knows? Either way, does this affect you? If everything from Microsoft went to PC, would you get it? Would you think there's even any point to owning an Xbox anymore? There's a few people I know who don't even own their Xbox One anymore because there was no goddamn point to it. It sat there, and they were thinking, why do I own this? It's kind of like me with my PS4. I guess I really only keep it for a fucking DVD player now, or Blu-ray, I guess. But I don't even have any Blu-ray DVDs, or Blu-ray movies. So, I don't know. Either way, I don't have much more to say other than Microsoft, if you decide to go full PC support, you get a thumbs up from me, you know? Will I become a PC elitist? No, cuz I don't think that PC's, the be all end all. It has a lot of pros to it, but for me personally there's a few cons. For example, I don't like playing with mouse and keyboard. For example, I don't like, oh, it's so elite, but I'm going to use a controller for a different console. I don't like that idea, that concept. If there's certain games that work for PC, then I'll, look into it. But say playing something like I don't know, a Forza or a Fable, I never cared for those anyway, so it's not like I would jump on them with PC. Anyway, that'll do for this video. We'll see you all in the next one.